Hello, everyone. We are now starting Unit 5, and we are doing notes for Lesson 1C. So you're going to open Unit 5 and go to Notes for 1C. This is where the video is. So this unit, we are going to be talking about something new that's called exponents. And exponents are a method used by mathematicians to simplify constant multiplication of a number. This is similar to how multiplication is used to simplify constant addition of a number. So as an example, you'll notice that we have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 15 times. So then if we write it as multiplication, it's 15 times 2. In this case, the 15 in front of the 2 represents the number of 2's that are being added together. So it's 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 15 times. Now, the constant multiplication, if you're doing 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, so this one that we're looking at, and you're doing it 15 times, we write it as 2 to the 15th power. In this case, the small number 15 that's floating at the upper right of the 2 is an exponent, and it represents the number of 2's that are being multiplied together. 2 is called the base, and 15 is called the exponent. So now our job is to write the following expression in exponential form. So we start out and we count all of the 6's. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 6's. Okay? So we write that as 6 to the 7th power. Now, how do we do it if we're typing it in the calculator? Okay, we type the 6, and then we have this little button right here on the calculator that shows the little number that's floating, that's the exponent, and we click it, and we put in the 7. So that's the exponent button. And we submit. There you have it. Number 2. Given the following expanded form, 7 times 7 times 7 times 7, write in both exponential form and simplified form. Okay? For the simplified form, show your work below. For the exponential form, write your answer, and it can be entered as base to the exponent. So if you see this right here, notice they have the 5. Actually, I'm going to write it so that you can see it. So right here, they have the 5, and then they have this little thing, we call it a caret, and then they have the 4. So if you don't have an exponent button, that's how you write 5 to the 4th power. However, in our calculator, we have an exponent button. So we click in, and we're not doing 5. If you remember, we are doing 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. So how many 7's do we have? We have 4 of them. So that is 7 to the 4th power. So we type our 7, and then we type the exponent button, and then the 4. Okay, now we are supposed to write the simplified form. Well, you'll notice that there's no calculator here. And the reason for that is because when you take the standardized testing and they give you questions like this, there's not a calculator. So they do expect you to be able to do it without a calculator. So what are we doing? Well, we're doing 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. Okay? So we're doing 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. Okay, 7 times 7 is 49. So then we need 49 times 7 times 7. Okay? Well, now we need to do 49 times 7. So we're going to come over here. 49 times 7. 7 times 9 is 63, carry the 6. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 6 is 34. So now we have 343 times 7. So notice we had 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. That's what we started out with. We multiplied the first two sevens and we got 49. So then we had 49 times 7 times 7 because we still had two sevens left over. Then we did 49 times 7 and we got 343. So now we have 343 times 7. So now we come over here and we do 343 times 7. 7 times 3 is 21, carry the 2. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 2 is 30, carry the 3. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 3 is 24. So our final answer is 2,401. So then we're going to go type it in and submit our answer. Make sure that you have all of the work in before you submit your answer. So 2401 and submit. Number 3. So number 3, we have 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So we count the 4s and we have 4 of them. So it's 4, and then we do our exponent to the 4th. Okay, now we need to do it, but remember we have to show the work in the work area. So in our work area, we have 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 times 4. Okay, now we need to do 16 times 4. 4 times 6 is 24, carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So now we have 64 times 4. Okay, now we have to do 64 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, carry the 1. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So our final answer is 256. And we go type 256 right there, and then we submit. Again, make sure you have all of the work in the work area before you submit. Okay, 256. Submit. Question 4. Okay, number 4, we have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So we have 4 3s. So we have 3 and then the exponent button to the 4th power. Okay, now we have to show the work. So we have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 times 3. Okay, 9 times 3 is 27 times 3. Okay, 27 times 3. We need to do it over here. 3 times 7 is 21, carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So 81 is our answer. And we type it in. Make sure you have all the work in before you submit. Okay, 81. Nope, that's a 7. 81. Number 5. Okay, now we've got a fraction. So we have 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. So we have 1/2 to the 4th power. Okay, when we click into our calculator, what you're going to do is you're going to click the parentheses. So see where I click the parentheses right here? Then you're going to select the fraction. So notice now it puts a fraction inside the parenthesis. Now you're going to type 1 in the numerator and 2 in the denominator. Then you're going to come over to the outside of the parenthesis and you're going to click your mouse. So your mouse is clicked outside the parenthesis and you're going to click on the exponent button. And then how many 1/2s did we have? Well, if we go count them, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1/2 to the 4th power. Now, I just want to say something one more time. Remember that 1/2 is called the base. And the 4, the number that's sort of floating at the top of the 1/2, that's called the exponent. And the 4 represents how many times you're multiplying 1/2. Okay, now we're ready to do the work. So we go to our work area and we have 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. Okay, now when we do the 1/2 times the 1/2, You multiply the numerators, so 1 times 1 is 1, and then you multiply the denominators, and 2 times 2 is 4. So 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4, times 1/2 times 1/2. Okay, now we have to do 1/2 times 1/4. So we multiply 1 times 1, and we get 1, and then 4 times 2, and we get 8. So we have 1/8 times 1/2, and then we have to multiply those. So we have 1 times 1, which is 1, and then we have 8 times 2, which is 16. So our final answer is 1/16. And we go type it in our work area, and then we submit. Make sure you have all of the work in the work area. So when you go to type it, you're going to get your fraction, and then type 1 and 16. Okay, there is another way to do it. If you're just doing one fraction, you can type 1 divided by 16. Okay, so that works also. But if you want to do the one where you have the parentheses, you have to start with the parentheses first. And we submit. Number 6. Now we have 1/4 times 1/4 times 1/4. Okay, there are 3 of them. So our base is 1/4. So we click our parenthesis, then we click our fraction, then we type the 1 in the numerator and the 4 in the denominator. Then we click our mouse and we click it so it's outside of the parenthesis. We click our exponent button and we put 3, 1/4 to the 3rd power. Now we're ready to do the work. So we write 1/4 times 1/4 times 1/4. Okay, now we multiply the 1/4 times the 1/4. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 4 is 16. Times 1/4. Okay, now we multiply those. 1 times 1 is 1. And then 16 times 4. Ooh, I got to do that off to the side. 4 times 6 is 24. Carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So our final answer is 1/64. Again, make sure that you get all the work done before you submit. So then I click the fraction, and I do 1/64. Submit. Number 7. 1/5 times 1/5 times 1/5. So that is 3 of them. So your base is 1/5. So we click the parenthesis and then the fraction. We type the 1 in the numerator. We type the 5 in the denominator. We put our cursor right outside the parenthesis. We click on the exponent button, and our exponent is 3 because there's 3 1/5. Our base is 1/5. Our exponent is 3. Now we're ready to show the work. So we write 1/5 times 1/5 times 1/5. Now we multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 5 times 5 is 25 times 1/5. 1 times 1 is 1. 25 times 5. Okay, that one I have to do over here. 25 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. So 125. So our final answer is 1/125. Make sure you have all the work in before you submit. So I click in here, 1/125. Number 8, which is the last question. So we have 4 problems to do. So we have 2/5 to the 4th power. So that means that we are doing 2/5 times 2/5 times 2/5 times 2/5. Okay, so we multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 5 is 25. Times 2/5 times 2/5. 4 times 2 is 8. 25 times 5. 25 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 125 times 2/5. 8 times 2 is 16. 125 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12, carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So 16 over 625. 16 over 625. Okay, now we're ready to do the second one. And the second one is 3/4 to the 4th. So I'm going to separate my work area. So it's 3/4 times 3/4 times 3/4 times 3/4. So 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. Times 3/4 times 3/4. Okay, 9 times 3 is 27. 16 times 4, we're going to do that off to the side. 4 times 6 is 24, carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So we have 27 over 64 times 3/4. Okay, 27 times 3. 3 times 7 is 21, carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 64 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, carry the 1. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So 81 over 256. Now we're ready to do the third one. So the third one is 5 times 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25 times 5. Okay, now we need 25 times 5. Now, if you look back, we did that one up here in the red, and it is 125. So we don't need to do it again. We already did it. So 125. Okay, now we're ready to do the last one. And the last one is 4 times 4 times 4. So we have 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, 4 times 4 is 16. And then we have 16 times 4. Okay, we did that one in the orange. 16 times 4 is 64. And there we have it. And now you're ready to go do Unit 5 Homework 1C. Have an awesome day. Make sure you have all the work before you submit.